Bahrain Islamic Bank (BISB) was founded in 1979 as the first Islamic bank in the Kingdom of Bahrain and the first in the GCC. The bank has played a significant role in the development not only of the kingdom's economy but also of the Islamic banking industry. The bank operates under an Islamic retail bank license from the Central Bank of Bahrain and is listed on the Bahrain Bourse. The BISB operates with 4 branch and 45 ATMs located through the kingdom. The bank adopts a customer-centered approach, constantly developing in anticipation of the needs and expectations of their customer.
In 1979, Bahrain Islamic Bank was established in Manama. The board chairman of BISB is Mr. Zaid Khalil Abdurrahman. He was the manager of operations at the National Transport Company and was the manager of maintenance and sales at the National Establishment of Technical and Trade Services. On 20 January 2025, BISB appoints Fatima Al-Alawi as Chief Executive Officer, the first woman to hold board position in the Islamic banking sector in Bahrain. Ms. Al-Alawi enlarged her momentous efforts, where she played a pivotal part in strengthening BISB's retail operation and spearheading digital transformations and initiatives. Additionally, innovative and simplified financial solutions are the vision of BISB, while choices for the customer need fit-to-market solution and engage experiences for the mission. Bahrain Islamic Bank offers a few categories of services to help both individuals and businesses to manage their money that follow Islamic law. To begin with, retail banking. The basic services for customers, such as opening service account, taking out personal loans, getting a credit card, and getting a mortgage to buy a home. Everything BISB offers in retail banking follows Islamic rules, so there is no interest is charged, and everything is based on profit sharing. Secondly, corporate banking. Corporate banking offers services such as business loans to help withdrawals, working capital to manage daily expenses, and trade finance to help business with importing and exporting of goods. Thirdly, investment services BISB give customers the opportunities to invest in projects and products that follow by Sharia law. For example, sukuk, which is Islamic bonds. Last but not least, wealth management. BISB also offers services to help people manage and grow their money. They ensure that any investment clients make are in line with Islamic teaching. Other than that, there are few board chairmen of Bahrain Islamic Bank. The board chairman is Dr. Esam Abdullah Fakro, Mr. Khalid Yosef Abdurrahman, and Mr. Usman Ahmed is the vice chairman of BISB. The board member of board director is Mr. Mohammed Abdullah NURALIA and Mr. Khalid Abdul Aziz Al Jassim. The role of Sharia compliance in Islamic banking operation. First of all, Sharia audit of the bank's business. The Sharia Internal Audit Department carry out regular monitoring to ensure the banks complying with Islamic Sharia principles, fatwas, and Sharia board decisions. The department submits 32 reports to the Sharia Supervisory Board, confirming the bank's adherence to Sharia guidelines. Meanwhile, the Sharia Supervisory Board reviewed the independent external Sharia compliance audit report, which confirmed that the bank's operations, transactions, and services adhere to Islamic Sharia rules and principles. In addition, the Sharia Supervisory Board emphasized the need for clear and honest disclosure about how the banks follow Sharia principles. The bank regularly shares information about how it ensures that all its products, services, and transactions align with Islamic law. Besides that, the board checks the bank's sources of income to make sure they are all in line with Sharia law. The bank cannot earn money from activities that are not allowed in Islam, like charging interest or investing in gambling or alcohol. The board also looked at the bank's financing methods to ensure they met Sharia principles. Instead of using interest-based loans, the bank used concepts of murabahah, mudarabah, and musyarakah. Murabahah concept is where the bank buys something and sells it at a high price. Mudarabah concept is a profit-sharing agreement, and musyarakah concept is a joint partnership. Afterward, the Sharia governance framework review to ensure there's proper oversight of Sharia compliance. This framework outlines the roles of the Sharia Supervisory Board and the internal audit team to make sure everything the bank does stays in line with Sharia principles.
There are three main categories under the asset sections of the Statement of Financial Position of the Bahrain Islamic Bank. The first one is the financing assets, the second one is the investment, and the last one is the ijarah muntahiyah bitamlik. The financing assets comprise of Sharia-compliant financing contracts with fixed and determinable payments. This includes financing provided through murabaha and musyarakah contract. The second one is the investment. They have three investment, which is the investment securities, investment in associates, and investment in real estates. For ijarah muntahiyah bitamlik, it is stated at cost less accumulated depreciation and any impairment in value. Under the term of the lease, the legal title of the asset passes to the lease at the end of the lease term, provided that all lease installments are settled. Depreciation is calculated using rates that systematically reduce the cost of the lease assets of the period of the lease in a pattern which is reflective of the expected pattern of economic benefits arising from these assets. There are two main categories under the liabilities section of the Statement Financial Position in Bahrain Islamic Bank. The first one is the placements with and financing from financial institutions. The placements with financial institutions is comprised of commodity murabaha receivables and wakala receivables. Commodity murabaha receivables are stated at amortized cost net of deferred profits and provision of impairment, if any. Wakala receivables are stated at amortized cost less provision for impairment. Financing from financial institutions is comprised of financing obtained through a murabaha contract recognized on the origination date and carried at amortized cost. And the second category is the customer's current account. The balance in current, which is the non-investment accounts, are recognized when received by the group. The transactions are measured at the cash equivalent amount received by the group. At the end of accounting period, the accounts are measured at their book value. How the financial accounting standards ensure that the Sharia compliance in Islamic bank for the statement of financial positions. So there are three ways. For the first one is the zakat obligations. Second one is use of Islamic financial instrument. And the third one is profit sharing investment accounts. For the zakat obligations, the statements of financial positions includes a separate line item for the calculation and disclosure of zakat, ensuring Sharia compliance in wealth redistributions. For Bahrain Islamic Bank, they prepared the consolidated statement of source and uses of zakat and charity fund to separate it from statement of financial positions. For the second one, which is the use of Islamic financial instrument, Sharia-compliant contracts like murabahah, mudarabah, musyarakah, ijarah, and suku are used and disclosed as separate line item. As for Bahrain Islamic Bank, their main assets is murabahah, musyarakah, and ijarah muntahiyah bihamdi. And the last one is profit sharing investment accounts. Profit sharing investment accounts are treated as off-balance sheet items or under equity or liability, as deposits share profits and losses based on predetermined ratios. So the comparison between Financial Accounting Standard, and IFRS in a statement of financial positions, we can conclude it as four things, which is the fair value accounting, leases, intangible assets, specific standard interpretations. For the fair value accounting, IFRS may allow for more flexibility in applying fair value accounting to certain assets, while FAS, which is the financial accounting standard, may have stricter criteria for when fair value is required. Leases under IFRS, most leases are treated as finance leases and recognized on the balance sheet, while under FAS, there are more distinctions between operating and capital leases. Intangible assets, IFRS may allow for more intangible assets to be recognized and on the balance sheet, whereas FAS may have stricter criteria for recognizing and amortizing intangibles. And the last one is specific standard interpretations. The IFRS use the IAS1, meanwhile the FAS, which is they use the FAS 157.
Income from murabaha and wakala contracts is recognized on a time apportion basis over the period of the contract using effective profit rate method. Profit or losses in respect of musyarakah financing transaction that commence and end during a single financial period is recognized in the consolidated statement of income at the time of liquidation. Where the musyarakah financing continues for more than one financial period, the profit is recognized to the extent that such profits are being distributed during that period in accordance with the profit sharing ratio stipulated in the musyarakah agreement. Income on mudarabah financing is recognized when the right to receive payment is established or on distribution by the mudarib, whereas losses are charged to income on declaration by the mudarib. Income from sukuk is recognized using effective profit rate over the term of the instrument. Income on placements with financial institutions is recognized proportionately over the period of contract based on the principal amounts outstanding and the profit agreed with clients. Income from ijarah muntahiyah bitamlik is recognized proportionately over the lease term. Dividend income is recognized when the right to receive payment is established. Bahrain Islamic Bank ensures its income follows Islamic principles through strict surveillance and audits. A Sharia Supervisory Board, or SSB, reviews and approves all financial activities, while an internal Sharia audit team checks transactions and policies to confirm compliance. Additionally, an independent external audit verifies that the bank's operations meet Sharia standards. The bank also follows Sharia governance rules set by the Central Bank of Bahrain and the IFU. Any earnings from non-compliant sources are donated to charity to keep income pure. Before launching new products or investment, the bank gets approval from the SSB. In 2023, the Sharia Board held 23 meetings, issued 180 fatwas, and approved 189 contracts. These steps ensure that all Bahrain Islamic banks' income and financial activities align with Islamic finance principles.
Okay, for the next slide, I want to present about how BISB allocate its zakah contributions. Firstly, the zakah obligation is typically based on the bank zakatables such as investment and other liquid assets, which is minus liability subject to the 0.25% zakat rate. So, number one is the bank allocate zakah and charity fund from various sources, include undistributed zakah and charity fund from the previous year, BD 600,076. So, the bank received from non-Sharia compliant income, which is the late payment fees, BD 300,004. The bank itself will contribute BD 176,000 for zakah, which is typically calculated at 2.5% of its zakatable assets, which is have for that, which is cash, gold, and liquid investment. So for voluntary donation, BD collect as much 250,000 that the total such of funds 1,406,000 BD. Then the BD is 12,000 is allocated to philanthropic societies. That the majority of zakah fund is BD 370 and 97 is used for the charity expenses. That the total BD is 479,000. Okay, for the next slides about our calculation zakah, how BISB allocate zakah contributions, which is a number one, zakah is generally calculate 2.5% of the bank zakatable assets, which is the zakah contribution of BD 176,000, indicate the bank zakatable assets for 2023 were approximately BD 7,040,000. That the remaining undistributed zakah and charity funds at the end of the year are determined by subtracting the total funds used 479,000 from the total funds collected 1,406,000, resulting in 927,000 available for future distribution. So that's all from me. We move for the next slide.
5 key accounting concepts unique to Bahrain Islamic Bank. The first one we have murabahah financing. The second one is ijarah muntahiyah bitamlik. The third one is investment in real estate. The fourth one is equity of investment account holder. And the last one is zakah. Murabahah financing is a sale where the bank buys an item and sell it to the customer at a higher price, which include a profit margin. The customer pays this price in installment over a set period. The transaction follows Islamic law with no interest charge, and payments are aligned with the delivery of the goods. Investment in real estate are rented out or held for value growth. Their cost includes the purchase price and related expenses. The property's value is updated regularly. If it increases, the gain is added to special reserve. If it decreases, the loss is first taken from reserve. Any remaining loss is recorded as an expenses. If the value increase gain, it offset past losses before being recorded as profit. When sold, any gain in the reserve is moved to the income statement. Ijarah muntahiyah bitamlik is a lease where the bank transfer ownership of an asset to the customer at the end of the lease, as long as all payments are made. The bank calculates the asset's depreciation and checks its value regularly. If the asset loses more value than expected, the bank records the loss in its financial statement. Equity of investment account holder is money customers deposit in unrestricted account, which the bank invests on their behalf. The bank charges a management fee as mudarib fee for this. Income from investment is shared between the bank and account holder after setting aside reserve. The bank handles all administrative costs and profit are based on actual returns. The accounts are recorded at their book value including reserve amounts for stability.